up, guys? It's the Modern Day Gladiator here, and I'm back again with another video. So I've come today with the video on things I wish I knew before I started working out or bodybuilding, right? These are questions, or rather these are things that I wish somebody had told me before, or I wish I knew, so I'm thinking just bring these through to you, especially if you're starting out, so at least you can, have that upper hand, that thing that I didn't have when I started. So I've jotted a few points for you guys down. These are basically just from my experience, right? Going through the years, training, and just reflecting and going back and thinking, man, wouldn't it be nice, to know this beforehand, right? So yeah, let's get into it, man. So the first thing that I wish somebody had told me is that it's a long-term commitment. This fitness journey, man, I'm more into the bodybuilding aesthetic side of things, but we all have, right, different reasons. Maybe you're trying to lose a little weight, maybe gain a little weight. That was my intention in the beginning, right? I looked at bodybuilders and I was amazed, especially wrestlers. I looked at the physiques and I thought, this is what I'd like to look like when I grow up, right? Started with cartoons, but then I'm seeing, real people can, look like this. So it's different reasons for different people. But nonetheless, the one common thing is that it's a long-term commitment, right? And you have to commit yourself. You can't look at it as a seasonal thing. You hear people saying, getting my summer body right or whatever it is. You have to, if you're trying to transform and get into it properly, you have to get out of that summer body mentality. You need to think of it as a all-year body. That's what you need to be trying to do. Of course, you're not going to look ripped and all of that throughout the year, right? But you must work on your body the whole time, right? So have the right mindset. I always tell my friends, if somebody comes to me or is starting out in this thing, right? The one crucial question, and I wish people that helped other people do this really got into this, right? If somebody starts or goes on a fitness journey, whatever goals they have, the one question is to check the mindset, where are you? You need to be in the right mindset. You need to be at a point where you want to make a change. That is where you need to be. You can't be half into it, half not into it. So when you start, what's going to carry you, right, is that mindset. You need to be in a spot where you made the change, right? So you need to. And another important thing there is that motivation will get you started, but discipline will carry you through. So there'll be days where you're just like, you know what, I don't feel like this, don't like it, or whatever the case may be, right? I have those days as well where I feel like, listen, I don't want to go to the gym today, but that discipline now, because I don't have the motivation, that discipline pushes me. That's how I go in and I get in that work, because I know why I started. You remember why you started, right? Taking us back to that mindset. You must know the reason. Why did you start? That will carry you forward, right? So the second one that I thought of and I jotted down here for you guys is you are a one of one, right? There's no one like you. There's no one like you. Your physique is a one of one, right? I can tell you this without any reservations. I always think and say that physiques are as unique as your face, as faces. Everyone's physique is different. There may be certain similarities, right? We all have two noses, Sorry, we all we all have 2 ears, we have 1 nose, right? There are basic elements to physiques, right? But they'll be different. Metabolisms are different. Genetics are different. The way your muscles attach, your arms is not going to be like your friends. Where your veins are not going to be the same. So, saying this, I'm saying, do not compare your physique to other people, right? You can compare maybe in terms of progress, right? But I wouldn't say compare them to other people and say, I'd like to have arms like, I don't know, whoever you look at and you think these arms are great. Nah, man. As you're working, your body will take the form that it's genetically going to take, right? So some people you may push and you find, I'm not so gifted in the arms department. I've got more chest if you're building, right? Or I've got more back, or this is what maybe responds more to me. Then you can take it from there, right? But one thing, don't make that mistake, because you will get demotivated, right? If you are not genetically gifted for a huge chest and you're looking at someone with a huge chest, right? You can push it to the limits that your genetics will allow you to, right? So embrace it, love it. This is my physique, right? This is how it's built, and I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. That's the mentality you need to go into this with. And then there's another point here. The third point is, do not neglect rest. Rest is important, guys. You need to rest. You can't train 7 days a week. You can't. You need time to rest and recover, especially if you're trying to change your physique. For example, with myself, right? I'm a physique person, and I'm doing this to gain muscle and look good, right? Look athletic, muscular. So you're not gonna grow or effectively, grow if you don't rest. You definitely need that rest. How much rest per night in terms of sleep, we can debate that for days, but just make sure you get enough. I would say maybe at least 6, right? And you're not going to get it consistently, but make sure that you get that sleep, and also you have some days where you're not doing anything, you're resting. That is going to do you a world of wonder. So rest. So then the next point that I found, that I didn't know initially, food is crucial. Not only the type of food, but the amounts of food as well, right? So how over the years I've been able to, help or change my physique is when I'm trying to gain some weight, I'll eat a bit more, right? And then I'll adjust it from there. If I'm trying to get leaner, I'll eat a bit less, but also watch out, not too much junk, everything in moderation, right? And depending on your goals as well, your diet is going to be different, but food is the fuel. That's what's going to help you, right? So depending on whether more or less and the type of food, that's what's going to really, really make a huge difference, right? And then the next point, still on food, let's just stay back there, food a bit. Supplements, right? Those are the questions that you would get. What can I use? Protein or whatever the case may be, right? I want to leave you with this. Supplements are just that, supplements, right? They add on top of. They're not the base. You can't just start with supplements and say, okay, I got my supplements. That is it. No. They build on top of what's already there. So you need a foundation of good food, healthy food in the right amounts, right? And then you can start to say, okay, I think I need a little bit more of this. I'm not getting enough protein from the cooked meals that I have. Maybe I'll add a protein shake, right? So that's how you approach the supplements. The supplements are not the baseline, right? They're not. They supplement an already going diet. So just be careful of that. Make sure that regards to food and supplementation, food comes first, right? Solid food. Then you can look at the supplements, okay? Moving on to the next topic is learn the basics, right? You can't come into the gym, right? I know. We all look at Instagram and whatever, and we're seeing these guys doing a push-up into a backflip, into a squat, into a one-legged pistol squat, and into a bench press. It's too much. It's too complicated, right? Start with the basics. Learn the basics, right? Learn how to deadlift, right? Learn how to bench press, right? Learn how to row, right? The basics correctly. Then you can start to, okay, you know what, I'm going to add a bit of spice here and there, but you can't just get in the gym and start with the spice. Nah, that's a recipe for disaster. So that's what I want you to take from this, right? Start with the basics. Perfect the basics, and then you can start to move as you get more and more advanced, right? So that's another thing that I wish I knew, right? Because I was looking at everything, and when I started, I was like, oh, that looks cool, man. And I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to get in, but no. Start with the basics. That's going to help you. Solid foundation first, then you can build on that foundation. You can't start with the roof. The decorations. It's time with the decorations, and without any walls. You need to start right at the bottom first, and then you can look into the fancy stuff. Next one, right, is that I wish I knew. Heavyweight is subjective, and this is a very important point, especially if you're training with a training partner, right? Because sometimes you get in there and you find a training partner, and you and your training partner are number one at different strength levels, right? So maybe you may be a little less stronger than your training partner, and when you're training, right, you wanna keep up, you wanna go, right? So no, relax. You do the weight that is heavy to you. If you're saying, okay, we're going for heavy weights, the 10 kgs that I'm using may not be, maybe heavy for me, but the next guy, it may be light for him. So just remember that, right? Just remember that. Not get carried away. Don't get carried away. Subjective, heavy for you, right? Just remember that. I wish I knew that. It would have saved me, a lot of trouble. Trying to keep up with people who are obviously stronger than me, right? And there's a risk of injury as well there if you're pushing yourself too much right at the beginning. So you need to just be careful about that. And the next one that I wish I knew, and I always say this, is move under weight, right? And that may not make a lot of sense to you right now, but what simply I'm saying is, and I wish I could eliminate these words. When people say lifting weights, I don't like that, I like to think of my body, right? Because when you go to the gym, you are building the muscles, but the way that they're supposed to work, right? So for biceps, simple. If you eat with your biceps. So you're bringing your hand from a straight position, you're bringing your hand up, right? And when you're doing bicep curls, what are you doing? You're doing the same movement. It's the same movement, but you just add a little weight, right? You just add weight. Same movement though. Same movement. So you are moving. You are normal movement with weight, right? When you're pulling, right? Doing rows, for example, your back is there. When it contracts, it pulls your shoulder blades back. You pulling. It's a natural movement. That's how your muscles are built. That's what they're supposed to do. You're doing the same thing, just adding weight. So you're moving under weight. You're moving with weight, right? When you're squatting as well, right? Your body, your quads are built to do that. They're built to get you up when you go down in a squatted position, when you're picking up something, right? So don't focus on the weight, but rather on the movement, right? And that'll help you prevent injuries, because when you think about moving and your natural movement, right, then you'll remember, you'll see movements that this movement is, I'm getting a bit of a hyperextension here, I might get injured. So think of that. I always say, don't lift the weight, but rather move under the weight. So you're flexing. Same thing you would be doing, just with some added weight. Right? And then that was it. That was what I had for you now. I thought I had more. I was going to check what else I had, but that was it, and just to give you a quick summary, right, of what we said, it's a long-term commitment. You are one of one. Don't neglect to rest. We said food is crucial, and then we went on and said learn the basics, and then we said heavyweight, subjective, then we said move under weight, right? So that was it, guys, from me, the modern day gladiator. Go out there, man, and get it, man, and chase those goals that you've been wanting to chase. And you know what, man, also don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like the video, you can share it, and go back and see some cool advice there, some cool tips, and man, all the best. Go out there, man, and kill it.